Hey guys, first regards from here, and so I'll be talking about the summer community update for Space Marine 2 that was posted about an hour ago by Sister Hylia on the Focus Entertainment forums. Now, there is a ton here on new cosmetics, the results of community polls, and upcoming content, so we're going through that all today. So first up, they say, "Hi everyone, we want to wish you all a wonderful holiday season. Our teams are taking a well-deserved break during the winter holidays, and first, we want to address the connectivity issues some of you have been experiencing since the patch 11.0 update. We are actively working on it. We apologize for not addressing these issues earlier as we were collecting more information to confirm it was not isolated cases. You may find the patch notes for hotfix 11.1 and 11.2 here. Now, I've actually had people ask me about the connectivity issues here. I didn't personally experience this, but it's officially confirmed to be an issue they're working on. So if you are experiencing like a connectivity problem, just be aware they are going to be fixing that eventually, but probably after the Christmas break, unfortunately. Also, they're probably going to fix the heavy bolt pistol heroic variant after the break too. We'll see. But you know, hot fixes take a while from Saber. Next, they say, "We were grateful for you in 2025. We want to kindly and sincerely thank you for 2025. Throughout the whole year, you've been showing immense support towards Space Marine 2 and the dev team. This year has seen the closing of the first year of live ops content, as well as the beginning of the second year. We cannot wait to show you what's in store for 2026. What is coming in 2026? The next Space Marines chapter to receive cosmetic DLCs are the Raven Guard Carcharodons in patch 12. Tell us which one you're the most excited to see." Now, the Raven Guard champion pack looks incredible. I did make like a video on the leaked model for that previously. This is like the coolest champion pack in my opinion, so I'm really looking forward to this. They also say that patch 12 will come with a new class, the Tech Marine and the Omnisci Axe, a new operation, new battlefield conditions for stratagems, and new heroic weapons, technical improvements as usual, and more. The Battle Barge expansion will unfortunately have to be delayed to a later patch. We prefer releasing a version we're satisfied with rather than just following a schedule at all costs. So the Battle Barge expansion was supposed to be like the testing arena, so you can test out weapons and stuff like that. To be honest, the one that Hypex made for the testing arena on PC is probably going to be better than their official launch anyways, in terms of actually testing weapon damage and stuff like that. But like, we'll see. Maybe they'll make a really good one with like this delay, but I kind of doubt it. Next, they also say alongside with patch 12, it comes new DLC content, a pack of heads and voices based on the Blood Angels, Black Templars, and Space Wolves chapters. It will include over 450 voice lines localized in all existing languages per chapter, including unique lines based on chapter. For example, the Space Wolf will shout for the All-Father instead of the usual for the Emperor, and your Space Marine will shout these new lines. Here's how they look. Now, this is really cool. Space Wolves especially are like a very unique chapter in terms of just how they represent the God Emperor and stuff like that. So having them properly say the actual lines, like you ever played Rogue Trader, all they ever talk about is the All-Father and stuff like that. They're very Viking inspired. And Blood Angels as well, if you say like, you know, Force Sanguinius and stuff like that, that would be pretty cool to see. This is Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Black Templars. I mean, Blood Angels looks pretty on point. Space Wolves look pretty on point. These are the Primaris versions, in case you're unaware. And having a bearded Space Wolf finally instead of like the scruff beard, personally, I would have preferred like maybe a longer beard than this, but you know, whatever, you know, we take what we can get, because Space Wolves have kind of had a bit of a lack of cosmetics in the game, at least like lack of proper representation for their cosmetics, so this is pretty cool. They also say, "Please note that this DLC is not included in the Season Pass 2. Interesting. Since it's the end of the year and you all deserve a gift, you shall be given a little hint on the upcoming Operation Disruption. It takes place on Avarax. Your squad will deploy to purge Xenos presence and help besiege Cadians. An iconic character from the campaign will come back." That is cool. An iconic character from the campaign. This could be talking about Captain Acheran. This could be talking about the you know, Calgar maybe even Titus, Gadriel. Who knows? I mean, like, having a character come back for the campaign would be kind of interesting. Or for all we know, it could be like a chaos, like a Helldrake or something like that again, because they did talk about that in like a leak, that there could be an iconic Helldrake from the campaign in the upcoming one. But like, that'd be a pretty interesting thing. As far as having Avarax come out, it seems like we're going to be having Xenos and Chaos. I heard that in like a leak that they would be having both. That'd be a pretty cool thing. I think Vox Liberatus is a pretty good map in Space Marine 2's base game. So if we get more of that, that'd be pretty interesting. Next to say, stay tuned in January for more info regarding the 12.0 update. This looks to be a new screenshot of this. This looks pretty interesting. So hopefully like a little bit of chandelier stuff and looks like a boss arena, to be honest, but we'll see. They also say, "Here are some more hints on what to expect in 2026 from game director Dmitry Grigorenko. With the announcement of chapter specific heads and voice lines, you can strike out something we said we are going to do but nobody noticed from the list of upcoming customization editions we've mentioned in September. We're really happy to deliver what you've been asking for months now. Nevertheless, the other two hints still remain. Something we should have done a long time ago, something we said we were going to do but nobody noticed, and something we said we are never going to do. So for something they said we're going to be, we should have done a long time ago, they are talking about doing perk loadouts here. They'll mention in a second. So I imagine that's going to be what they're talking about here. They say we've adjusted our plans and decided to throw in a bit more free stuff than what the year 2 roadmap originally listed. The progression update item listed in the roadmap is going to be a whole new feature. We will talk about closer to its release. On top of that, we're going to expand the Data Vault's current ordeal system next year. Both of these things sound very good. The ordeal system, if they actually bring in proper penances for titles and stuff like that, for like reaching like wave 40 in Siege, or stuff like that, like some really crazy titles, some really crazy progression updates would be great for the player base, especially the remaining dedicated player base, because most of the players currently playing Space Marine 2 are quite dedicated in between the updates, so hopefully they give them something to grind for. They also say we are working on a lot of quality of life things and sandbox improvements. For example, a highly requested feature of perk loadouts in the works. Thank God, because perk loadouts need to be in Space Marine 2. This is like the single most important quality of life feature in Space Marine 2 that I think the game just needs to have, because without this, some of the weapon perks in this game only work with certain weapons, or I should say some of the core perks of your actual perk tree. There are also things like certain factions just requiring different loadouts than other ones, so for Siege mode especially, this would be really nice to have. It might change up the meta quite a bit, and how you can actually build around encounters, so that's pretty good. Contested health rebalance will happen alongside with patch 13, but there are going to be a lot of minor quality of life improvements before that to build a proper foundation first. Okay, so they are still doing the contested health rebalance. It'll just be like way into like almost summer of next year, like April. Siege mode will get a big expansion of its sandbox gameplay. We have big plans for its second map. So this is going to come out towards like the end of next year. We'll see what they actually do there. But like Siege mode is pretty fun. It's just super underbaked and super buggy currently. So having a proper expansion to the sandbox or like new requisitions and stuff like that would be pretty good. Next, they say here, the summer community event for the end of the year, launch stratagems mode and complete 2 weekly or daily stratagems in any difficulty to earn the death or glory left greave. The event starts on December 17th and runs until December 31st. Please note the weekly stratagems are now reset each Wednesday. So this is what I talked about the other day. Like, this is the new greave. You can literally unlock this within like 5 minutes of completing your 2 stratagems. All you have to do is just exit your game after completing 2 dailies or 2 weeklies, and you will just get this greave. It actually looks pretty good, one of the better greaves in the game, but to be honest, I don't know how many people are super hyped for a new boot, but that's just the way it is in this game for now. Next, they say results of the community poll. This month, we asked you in a poll which big Tyranid was the most terrifying in Space Marine 2. Among the suggested answers, you've picked the Biovore. Now, we're curious what exactly makes it so scary to you. Probably because fighting Spore Mine spam and having something that like knocks you over with almost zero counterplay that moves at like Mach 50, it's not super fun. That's probably what they meant by terrifying, but okay. I mean, Biovores are definitely terrifying, but not exactly like difficult. If you want to participate in such polls, we publish them each week, and sometimes it's about Space Marine 2. Keep an eye out on our socials for it. Sometimes we even use the data to refine our games. By casting your vote, you're doing your part. Okay, listen, brother, this ain't Helldivers, okay? This is a 40k game. This is for the Emperor. Focus Together's idea. In October, we took some time to address some of the latest and most discussed ideas while bringing answers from game director Dmitry Grigorenko. This month, we'd like to do it again, but we also want to address the idea that's gotten the most voices. You may want to read them here and here first. They say, hello there. First off, it's a great idea. We thank you for it. What the fuck are they saying here? Hold on. They didn't even give us the actual question there. One second. So here they go. Dmitry Grigorenko, game director. This is the summary of the ideas. A heroic weapon idea, a Calvinite greatsword. The summary is for a weapon idea. The dev response to having a Calvinite greatsword is: greatswords deserve its own moveset and steady finisher animations rather than just being a heroic skin. Those things take a lot of time to implement. That being said, if we were to make another melee weapon archetype, the greatswords would be a top priority. Sorry, Lightning Claws fans. That is pretty fucking stupid, but they did say previously they weren't going to be adding lightning claws to the game, but we'll see. Display more team info, clear UI and combat. We do agree this is something we consider adding later down the line. Okay, well, that's pretty good. A Blood Angels Pauldron. Make the Blood Angels champion right pauldron usable for all classes and available as a left pauldron. Let's clear things up a little. Oh, great. They typed a dissertation on this one. Let's clear things up a little on asset production. It's not that easy to make right pauldrons to be usable on left shoulders without simply Control C and Control V a pauldron. You have to redo the entire asset from scratch because all the text and iconography has to be redone and cannot be mirrored. This also means duplicate textures for patterns and everything. Our focus for customization was and will always be adding new stuff first. We'd rather do a completely new shoulder pad rather than have our art team spend about the same amount of time to add a different version of the same item. Plus, right shoulders are always a top priority because they can be seen the most from the right side of the camera when you play. I'm not saying we are never to be doing it, but right now the focus is on adding new items rather than reworking old ones. Okay, so this explains why they always have the right shoulders come out as like the brand new option for cosmetics. I mean, I get what they're saying here. Like, you do see it from the right side of the camera at all times, but give us more left shoulders. Like, there is a tremendous discrepancy in how many like left shoulder options you have, and like giving some of them, or like, you know, at least a few more options would not be a bad idea in my opinion. Next, I say bots should have team perks to send bot customization further by giving them team perks. Let's clarify a bit how the bots work in PvE. Since they are not real players, they do not use the same gameplay rules as players. They are not designed to have team perks because their combat capabilities already kind of include some of the team perks. They are going to be too strong if they have team perks. We would rather have players to play in co-op than with bots. Bots are a fallback solution. I mean, they're not going to be too strong if they have team perks, first of all. I mean, bots are definitely pretty OP in this game, but like not for their damage usually. It's mainly for like the fact that they can get you up all the time. But okay, sure, whatever you say, Director Dimitri. I don't really agree with this at all. I don't think that's true at all. Like, a good player will always dramatically outperform a bot. So if saying a bot would be too powerful with a team perk, it just means that like they don't want players to not play with bad players, I think is like literally all this means, because I would take a top tier player over a bot with a team perk any day, but whatever. Anyways, they say assault ability resource rework, unlock more fun dynamic play, various ideas to improve assault's ability to make it less restrictive. We are very hesitant to allow assault to jump pack dash without using his ability, for the same reason why his jump pack works differently from story and PvP. He will be able to skip the entire areas of the map and there's nothing you can do about it. It's not like we were never going to do this, but we want to see how our changes to the jump pack dash build work first without breaking the entire logic of the class, because assault is not a bad class right now, definitely not weak, it just needs more build variety, and jump dashes is the prime candidate for it. Okay, first of all, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about here. As far as like jump pack dash, making so you go through the whole ability, making it so like, knowing what they post on the forum, this was probably like way too powerful of a rework. They're like, oh, we just have his jump pack dash and never use a charge. I mean, that would be stupid, but there are other ways to make the assault jump pack dash good. Like, make it spend a less of a charge. They could give you like a recharge increase, or like, you know, maybe your CDR goes up after using a jump pack dash on a perfect dodge or something like that. Make it so you can perfectly animation cancel the dodge. And as far as skipping the map goes, like, are we really making this argument? The Bulwark already has a 0 cooldown dash that like goes just as far as the jump pack dash over and over and over. Like, this is ridiculous to me. They're saying like, oh, we shouldn't have this. And as far as assault being a bad class right now, assault's not bad. Assault's in a very strong spot, but as far as like being as strong as other classes like Bulwark, he's just not. Like, he is just not as strong as a class of Bulwark for like 99% of content. Even in siege mode, if we're talking about like siege pushing, because assault just does so much AoE damage, that's like a pretty niche thing. Like, most people aren't true soloing siege. Most people are not trying to push like super high waves of siege. So like, the place where assault really shines over a class like Bulwark in terms of pushing clear time is just not something most people are interacting with. And the idea that like assault is not a bad class right now, and we should just like, and he's just definitely not weak, is like the only reason to not buff up his abilities when other classes are still stronger than him by quite a huge margin, I think that's pretty stupid to me. Like, Bulwark is just a better class than Assault currently. I don't think most people even disagree with that at all. And having him get a better jump pack dash, I think would be a huge portion of making him a better class overall for like the majority of the player base. Because the majority of the player base is just not taking full advantage of Assault, and they have an easier time taking advantage of the other two melee classes. So I just don't agree with this director at all on this, and I don't think they have any idea what they're talking about when it comes to the Assault class, if I'm being honest. But you know, maybe they'll buff him anyways at some point. Next to say Siege Mode Dreadnought AI. Make Dreadnought AI prioritize enemy by threat level. This is something we might consider eventually, yes. Yeah, Dreadnought in Siege Mode can definitely be a little bit ridiculously stupid at times. He does not do the proper behavior. Like, we actually had a run end like that before where he just wandered off to like fight Minoris. I mean, it's a pretty expensive purchase, so like the fact that so much of Siege Mode is RNG on stuff like that is pretty irritating, so hopefully they do fix that. Next to say Black Shield / Deathwatch cosmetics, add Black Shield and or Deathwatch cosmetics. More Deathwatch cosmetics are coming, but keep in mind that Deathwatch from story are not Primaris Marines. We cannot use their armor in PvE. I mean, I don't know if the player models are actually like bigger or smaller in the beginning of the campaign, but it's true they are firstborn, so we did talk about like having no Deathwatch cosmetics for that. But more Deathwatch cosmetics are coming, so just keep that in mind, guys. Maybe that's part of the redacted section, but I kind of doubt it. More customization slots. Increase the amount of available customization slots because there are now too much cosmetic options compared to the amount of available customization slots. Indeed, that'd be nice to have. We'll see what we can do. Okay, so maybe they'll double up on the customization slots at some point. Expand the accolades cap to 1500. We think that the current cap and rate of accolades gained is fine. Besides, we will be adding more ways to earn accolades in the game, but the cap is going to stay. The reason they're keeping the accolades cap here is because this is how they keep people playing for like 2 to 3 weeks after an update. If you up the accolades cap to like 1500 or 2000, players that have been saving up the entire time will spend like an entirely like one less week potentially in the game actually playing the stratagems, so they don't want to up the accolades cap at all. They want to keep it here. Like, it's actually part of their entire game plan to keep people playing, and it's been working, so there's literally no reason for them to change it. So I understand what they're saying here, though they kind of like went about it in the wrong way. I mean, they didn't really tell you like the real reason, but like that is the reason that having that 1000 accolades cap has been keeping players like playing, and people who complain, like people will complain like, oh, I don't have like a big enough cap for my accolades, but those same players are usually coming back, and you can just see that reflected in player numbers, so that's why they're doing it. That's it for this year. Again, we want to express our gratitude for your unwavering support and your dedication. Collecting, reading, and hearing your feedback on the game throughout all of 2025 has been a great help to us. Space Marine 2 wouldn't be the game it is without you, and we're far from being done. Thank you, dear Space Marines, the Saber and Focus team. So there was a lot here. We didn't really get like a big teaser on new weapons or anything like that. No, we saw like the Omnisaya axe and like a previously like leaked thing they showed. But as far as the new head customization, this sounds pretty cool. New voice lines would be pretty interesting. If they are doing new voice lines for the Primaris Marines here, I wouldn't be surprised if we get new voice lines for the Tech Marine in like the one portion of Fall of Atreus where they talk about having a Tech Marine. If they are going back to talk about voice lines, that's pretty interesting. I'm really looking forward to having perk loadouts especially, but let me know what you guys think about the summer community update here. How do you feel about Dmitry Grigorenko's responses to some of these ideas? How do you feel about like a lack of lightning claws potentially? I'll probably talk about this like a different video, but for now, that is all I have to say in this one, guys. Thank you for watching. If you like content like this, subscribe for more, and as always, take it easy. Bye.